Welcome to a special episode of Real Nerds Podcast. My name is Corinne, and today we are going to be doing a bracket revelation for 2021 Movie Madness. If you weren't with us last year, when all the basketball tournaments got shut down, I was like, I am bored. I need something to do. So I decided to come up with a movie tournament bracket thing, picked out 16 movies from my shelf, threw them on the Real Nerds website, and asked the nerds, hey, post this on social media, and let's see which of the 16 films ends up winning the whole thing. Well, the championship matchup ended up being Princess Bride versus The Dark Knight. And the Princess Bride squeaked out the win in the end. And it was just a really fun time. A good way to kill time between, what was that, mid-March to early April or something. So I asked the nerds for their input, and we decided to bring it back again this year. We have a theme. I'm going to be revealing the theme here in a second, if you haven't already heard that announcement. But yeah, we've got 16 movies. Brad, Ryan, Zach, and I each picked 4, so we have a total of 16 movies in the field. Each of us will have a division of 4 films, meaning that all of us will have one film in the semifinals. So the theme this year is Disney Pixar. And surprisingly, despite me not saying this, all of us picked 2D animated Disney films, no live action ones, which I was kind of surprised that I didn't have to say that. But anyway, we do have a couple of films on the list that have been remade into live action, quote unquote. But we're not talking about those ones. We're talking about the 2D animated classics. So anyway, we will be revealing the 16 films on our list. And here today to offer his analysis is independent third-party observer and friend of the podcast, Gerry the artist. Gerry, welcome. Thanks for joining me today.
Hey, Corinne. Hey, guys. Thanks for having me back. Really excited to get down, see what you guys got cooking today.
I'm curious, what do you think of our theme this year of Disney Pixar? Do you think we'll have more engagement than last year or less, or about the same?
I think you'll have more engagement, especially with everything with Disney. Well, actually with Disney being everywhere now, and animation versus we're saying 2D animation versus 3D. Is that what we're doing, or we're just focusing on 2D animation?
Well, it's just a mix. It was just more of, to clarify, we don't have any live action Disney movies in here. I was kind of surprised that Ryan did not put Mary Poppins on his list.
Yeah.
So, and then, yeah, as I said, we're not doing any of the live action remakes bullshit. These are all the 2D animated classics. But just, I told all the nerds, pick 4 Disney or Pixar films. And they did. Some of them have a couple of Pixar movies. Some of them don't.
Uh-huh.
I think everybody but Zach has one Pixar film on their list.
Well, here's what I'll say. I think there'll be a lot of engagement because these are, we're at the age now where we have fond memories attached to these films. So a lot of these are going to be hills that some of us are willing to die on. I know I am.
It's very true. I can already see we're going to have some very tough matchups ahead of us. And I'm curious to see what the listeners, followers, the fans of the Real Nerds podcast will end up picking as our champion this year. So are you ready for the bracket revelation, Gerry?
Yes, I am.
All right. So our very first matchup of the tournament, kicking us off on Thursday, March 18th, we have Ryan's number 1 movie, Pinocchio, versus his number 4 seed, Dumbo.
Oh,
your thoughts?
Boy.
Pinocchio versus Dumbo. 2 old-time Disney movies going head-to-head.
All right. Well, let's start with Dumbo and the I mean, yes, there's definitely the racism in there, but I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the alcoholic fever dream with those crazy pink elephants in Dumbo. That
Yep.
alone, if that doesn't say LSD or drugs like on demand, it's just it's such a weird film that I mean, if you go back now and watch it, it's a little bit unwatchable. So I'm like, it's one of those things. And Pinocchio, which I like to think of it as one of the, it's a good film. You know, you're watching it, you're okay, up until you get to the horror scene, which is when Lampwick is turning into a donkey. I mean, that is haunting. I dare you show that to any kid nowadays and watch the reaction on their face as like the colors drain from their bodies.
I'm not really supposed to offer commentary because I'm supposed to just be announcing the bracket, but I will say I have not seen Pinocchio since I was like 5, and there might be a reason for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's got, it's got the hallmark of any classic Disney film of the era. Heavy smoking, drinking, and, the little children getting turned into donkeys and being carted off to be worked into, like into camps or something. It's just a really, um, but the moral of the story is in there, somewhere. But,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's our first matchup of the tournament, Gerry.
oh
We've
boy.
got 14 more films to go.
All right. So if I'm going to pick a winner out of this one, I would say Pinocchio is probably an easier watch because you can go, well, that was a stylistic choice at the time. Dumbo is probably the one you're going to have to talk. You're going to need a therapist for. So my money's on Pinocchio on this
Okay. Now, moving down to our second matchup of the tournament on
one.
Friday, March 19th, we have Ryan's number 2 seed Toy Story 2 going up against 3 seed The Lion King.
uh,
Again, we're
I'm gonna,
talking about the original Lion King.
yeah, I'm going to declare the winner, and the winner is the Lion King. Anyone who disagrees, well, you're just wrong. What's next?
All right. Moving down to, oh, wait, sorry, we got to look at the division overall.
All right, what do we got?
So, what do you think of the 4 films in Ryan's bracket? Which of them do you think is going to advance to the semifinals?
Lion King. I'd be shocked if that doesn't. And Pinocchio. I mean,
Lion King's going up against Toy Story 2, though, and everyone loves Toy Story 2. I don't know.
and
I don't know. This is why you're here.
yeah. Okay. So again, I'm sure everyone has legitimate opinions and emotions connected to Toy Story 2. But there's only one true king in that argument.
Yeah,
And
it's T'Challa.
that sounds like a bracket which should do. But you know what? My money is still on the Lion King's going to advance. There's just no way it doesn't. I'd be shocked if it doesn't. And then
Okay.
I'm gonna Pinocchio. Dumbo. I've seen it recently and it doesn't really hold up well. So I mean, yeah, Pinocchio.
All right. Moving down to Brad's division. Starting us
Uh-huh.
off on Saturday, March 20th, we will have
Uh,
1 seed Wally versus 4 seed Robin Hood. What are you thinking?
oh, oh boy.
Wally versus Robin Hood.
Yeah, Wally. I've seen the old Robin Hood, and it's just, it's it's not for me. And but you know what? But it's also Wally is one of those films where hardly any dialogue. You know, it's one of those. It's Pixar at its best. Not a whole lot of dialogue. You are able to understand and follow the narrative, and it's such a touching story. And visually, it stands out. So Robin Hood, I I think my issue with Robin Hood is that it's a property that's been done so much that there's not
Yeah, but have any of them have cute animated foxes running around? I mean, I'm pretty sure that movie's the origin story of a lot of furries in the world.
Yeah, but again, it's look, if there's a Robin Hood story out there that people think is that somebody asked me like, what's the best Robin Hood story that I should watch? It'd be Robin Hood Men in Tights. Um, that is one of the best version of Robin Hood. That and Errol Flint. But yeah, money's on Wally on this one.
Okay, moving down to our fourth matchup of the tournament on
Uh-huh.
Sunday, March 21st, we will have 2 seed Oliver and Company going up against 3 seed Ratatouille.
Oh my gosh. Ratatouille. Um, Oliver and Company's good. The soundtrack by Billy Joel. I think the one song "Why Should I Worry" is amazing.
Mhm.
But Ratatouille is. I just love that. It's one of my favorite Pixar films. So Ratatouille.
So if we pull back a little bit and look at Brad's division overall, we got
Mm.
Wally, Robin Hood, Oliver and Company, Ratatouille. Which of the four do you think will advance to the semifinals?
I think Wally and Ratatouille.
Well, only
Those
one
are.
of them is advancing to the semifinals. So you think that
Oh,
the second round will be Wally versus Ratatouille, but which one of
right.
those films is going to win?
Oof, man. Talk about Sophie's choice. Ah, I'm gonna go with. You know what? I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Wally. Ratatouille is my favorite, but I think Wally edges it out just a bit. There's an artistry to it that just transcends the film. So, yeah.
Hmm. I've never seen Wally, but I do like
Wait,
Ratatouille.
what?
Eh, it's okay.
Oh my. Oh, hey, what's that, Gerry? Oh, that's the wound. Yeah, let me just pour salt in it. Um.
Whoops. All right, so now we move over
Uh-huh.
to, and I'm impartial when I say this, the best of the four divisions, mine. On
Here
Monday,
we go.
March 22nd, we have
Uh-huh.
number one seed Beauty and the Beast versus fellow Disney princess film, 4 seed The Little Mermaid. What are your thoughts? Two Disney princess movies going head to head.
Uh. Boy, this is a tough one. Not because of the caliber of the story, but because it's just. Um. Oh wait, no. Hold on.
Again, we're talking about classic animated Beauty and the Beast, not the live action remake.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go with the Little Mermaid. Um, and the reason for that is, yeah, I mean, you know, plot's a thing.
You could feel my rage through the screen, couldn't
Oh,
you?
I can feel it. uh, I'm gonna go with the Little Mermaid. And you might be thinking, well, it's the plot. Well, I'm sure there's a plot involved, but uh, it is because Ursula is just fantastic. Um, that you know
All right, you
that's a
convinced me,
villainous as
Gerry.
God.
All I had to hear was Ursula, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Gaston cannot compare.
Yeah, no, he can. So
All right. Well, I mean, if Beauty and the Beast doesn't pull it out on the 30th anniversary, I don't know what's happening, but we will see. This is for
uh
the listeners and the fans to decide. So
yeah.
then, moving down to my 2-3 matchup on Tuesday, March 23rd, we have Pixar Afterlife Showdown Coco versus Soul.
Yeah. See, I watched Coco. Didn't didn't really like it. It was fine, but Soul is a Pixar film that I have seen. I want to say twice in when it was released on Disney Plus, I watched it uh, back to back, like 2 days in a row. And there is something about that film that is it speaks to me about work, about you've achieved your goal, you've been striving all this time to get to where you wanted, and once you finally get there, you know, something changes. I love that movie so much. Also because the guys in the afterlives are also called Gerry, so I mean they know who their audience was. Yeah, Soul.
Okay. So pulling back and looking at my division, number 1, Beauty and the Beast against number 4, Little Mermaid, number 2, Coco versus number 3, Soul. Who do you have going to the semifinals?
Oh boy. Um, there's who I want to go, and then there's who will. I want Soul, but I think Coco will. Um, just because I know how many people love that film and how that film spoke to so many. So yeah, I would say Coco.
Okay. Now we move down to our last 2 matchups of the first round. On Wednesday, March 24th, we have this is in Zach's division. Number 1, Fun and Fancy Free versus number 4, Great Mouse Detective.
So the only reason I got Disney Plus was to watch The Great Mouse Detective. That's what sold it. I was like, my gosh, I really hope that's on there. At launch, it was, because I really love that. That is one of my favorite 2D Disney animated films.
Have
So
you
The Great
seen
Mouse.
Fun and Fancy Free? Because I don't know if a lot of people have.
It's not The Great Mouse Detective. Have you seen The Great Mouse Detective?
I have.
It's amazing. I mean, oh, yeah.
Okay, so number 4, Great Mouse Detective is the dark horse of the tournament, huh?
I mean, do you remember this? There's this scene, I think it's in the clock tower. I'm trying to remember.
Mm-hmm.
So beautiful, and the way it was done and animated. I love that movie. So, Great Mouse Detective for me.
All right, and then our last matchup of the first round, we have Zach's number 2, Ichabod and Mr. Toad, going up against number 3, The Jungle Book, on Thursday, March 25th.
Well, post the pandemic world, post COVID world, Baloo was right. The bare necessity of life are all that you need in this world. So, Jungle Book.
Yeah, I think Ichabod and Mr. Toad is another kind of obscure one that I don't know if a lot of people have seen. Maybe they've
Yeah,
seen part of it. I know I saw the Sleepy Hollow half
yeah.
because it was on a whole separate thing. Anyway, so pulling back and looking at the entire field of 16, who are your favorites to win the whole thing, Gerry?
Oh boy. Well, Corinne, I'll tell you. Here's what we got. Here's what's happening here. Now, if the Lion King edges out, makes it to the semifinal, that's a strong contender there. Below that, Ratatouille. Yeah, but if you ended up getting Ratatouille versus the Lion King, the Lion King's win. I mean, in my mind, the Lion King wins it just because, it's on at least I would say for most people, it's on their top 5, if not top 3. So I'm thinking Lion King on that. Other side, Coco. I would say Coco's making it. The Great Mouse Detective. That's a personal favorite, but boy, that's tough. I mean, I would. All right,
Who
here's
do
what
you
we got.
see winning the whole thing?
That's tough though, because here's what here are the four that I think are probably the most the four that can win it all. These are the four that can win it all. Coco, The Lion King, The Jungle Book, and Beauty and the Beast. So I'll go through that. Beauty and the Beast, it's fresh in people's minds right now because of, the animation was one thing, the live action was more recent, so that's still kind of fresh in people's minds. Coco, that movie has an impact. It just does. And it expands Disney's diversity. The Lion King, because it's the Lion King. I mean, it's such a great movie that when they did a remake, they just did a shot for shot of the whole film. You can't get better than that. And then the last one, I think I said was The Jungle Book. Yeah, those are the four. I don't know who's going to win it. If I had to pick one that would win it and just obliterate everything, I would say, I'm going to say Coco. I think that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking of. I think so.
All right. Well, there you have it. Gerry's prediction is that Coco could win Movie Madness 2021. Well, this has been a lot of fun revealing the bracket with you, Gerry. Thank you for your analysis. And for those listening at home, I encourage you to go to the Real Nerds website to check out the full bracket. My breakdown of the matchups will be very brief breakdown of the matchups because there are 8 of them in the first round. And just so you have it on your calendar, the championship round should be on April 1st. So just remember, April Fool's Day, we will have the championship matchup, and then we will crown our champion the next day. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and I hope we get a lot of people voting in the tournament this year.
Yeah.
Man, it will be a Sophie's Choice. I mean, last year, Dark Knight versus The Princess Bride. Like, how do you pick a winner of that,
It's simple. You pick the Dark Knight because, and it's not because, yes, I love.
Well, too bad because The Princess Bride won.
But see, I dispute
Just go
that.
back in time to a year ago, Gerry, and vote for the Dark Knight 1 billion times so it wins.
It's not even. I'll put it to you this way, right? Here's what I'll say. I respect the people's choice, right? Who voted for The Princess Bride. Do I think they were wrong? Of course.
Well, then you and all the listeners at home have to make sure that you participate so that your favorite movie in the bracket wins the entire thing. I know for me personally, I'm going to be voting for Beauty and the Beast a ton because it better freaking win, okay?
Why?
Because it's amazing.
That's not a reason. That's a statement.
Because that's like my favorite Disney movie ever, Gerry. That's why. Why do you think it was number 1 in my bracket?
Yeah, but I'm just curious. I mean, okay. If it's your favorite Disney, give me a flavor. What is it about that film that resonates to you so much that you can look at The Lion King and The Great Mouse Detective and go, or, let's not even talk about the crown jewel here, Hercules. But that makes you go, this is where it's at.
I'm not saying I don't like those other movies. Lion King is number 2 on the list. Like, it's not like it's down at the bottom. Lion King is it's my second favorite Disney film, and Great Mouse Detective is probably in the upper tier somewhere. But, I mean, it's amazing how short that movie is, but how much of an emotional punch it packs. And how quickly you fall in love with all the characters and the personality and the atmosphere and the pacing is just, the live action adaptation was a thing that happened. But the one good thing that came out of it was it just proved how perfect the 1991 version is. So.
Okay. I've seen both, and the live action one was again a thing that happened.
Trust me, I will be talking about the 1991 version a lot later this year. Check out 1991 Film Explosion whenever it comes out, everybody.
Yeah. So, all right. I hear you.
So thank you for joining me, and Gerry, thank you for joining me on this special bracket announcement for Movie Madness 2021. Please visit the Real Nerds Facebook page, Twitter page, all social media to cast your vote in the matchups to help us declare a winner this year. And definitely check out the website for more information, realnerdspodcast.com. I am Corinne, and Gerry, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everybody, stay safe.